YouTube? It's your boy Heyfriz back again with another video. Today I'm gonna just get straight to the point. I'm gonna teach you how to make a fire ass beat for EST Gee. EST Gee has been one of my favorite rappers for like the past year, so I want to make this tutorial and I want to, share some knowledge with y'all. So I don't want to waste any more of your time. I'm gonna just get straight into FL Studio and show you how to cook some shit up. So I already have the beat made out, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna break down every single sound and just the whole process of the beat. So first of all, with these EST Gee type beats, you want to go for a faster BPM. I think the perfect range, it would be from 150 BPM all the way to 162 BPM, just somewhere within that range or somewhere close to that range. And so for this beat, I went with a 160 BPM. So for the first sound of this beat, I grabbed this little electrical bell sound. It's like a soft bell from Analog Lab 5. And I laid out this little complex pattern. I forgot to mention, with these EST Gee type beats, these dark trap type beats, you want to make sure you're in a minor scale, with the root note being either B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, or E. So these notes right here are like the perfect scales for these trap beats for EST Gee. And I'll explain why in a second when we get to the 808. But put simply, when the 808 plays at these specific notes, it just hits harder. It just sounds, darker. Anyways, back to the tutorial. The scale I chose for this beat is B minor, as you can see right here. If you're wondering how I got these little highlighted notes in the background to help me lay out the melody, just go up here, top left, click view, scale highlighting, and then make sure you're on minor natural, and then just pick whatever note here, whatever root note. Like I said, you want to stay within B and E, so that range. So I started off with the root note, which is B, and then I went up to F sharp, and then I brought this F sharp back down here. Then I brought this B all the way down here. So I brought it down one octave, and that's the first set. As for this one, I just repeated it basically, but I changed these two notes. It goes up one note and then goes down one note. You see these little two notes that are together, these little half steps? These are very essential for creating a dark vibe that's perfect for EST Gee. It creates that little tension. And then I basically just repeated it. So I copy and pasted it, except I moved this note that was here originally, I moved it up here. Then I just copied and pasted the whole melody throughout. As for the effects, I went and added a portal right here. Then I added a Valhalla Supermassive. This is a very underrated reverb plugin. I just went here, reverbs, medium, then I'm pretty sure I put on Bright Room, and I just turned down the mix as well as the low end. Then I pulled in two EQs. I just did this shit right here, take out some of the annoying frequencies. And then I grabbed another EQ and I took out some of the low ends and some of the mids and low mids. And that's all I did for the first sound. For the second sound, I went into Analog Labs once again, and I grabbed another bell sound. And if you notice, it's the same pattern from the first melody, and the reason being is because I wanted this sound to act as a sort of as a complementary sound to the first melody. But I did a little trick. I went and added a halftime, then I added portal, Valhalla Supermassive once again, then I added a EQ. I just took out some of the mids and the low ends. Though I wanted these two melodies to like bounce off each other and complement each other, I didn't want them to be clashing with each other. So that halftime just like made it a bit different. So I'm gonna play it without the halftime first, and then I'll show you guys with the halftime. As you can hear, it's more spacious. It gives more space to add more sounds, or to let the rapper just rap and flow on the beat. And so that's why I did that. Next, I added a piano from SRX Keyboards. I recommend y'all go get a Roland subscription. They have a bunch of fire VSTs. But yeah, so I grabbed this SRX keyboard. I just used the first preset. I laid out the root notes, but at a lower octave. And then I just switched it up over here. I brought it up to F sharp. Nowadays, these low pianos are pretty essential for these trap beats, especially for EST Gee. But yeah, all I did was I just added a EQ. You don't want to take out too much of the low ends, just take out like the unnecessary lows. It just adds more to the darkness of the beat. Anyways, next up, I grabbed this analogy. I went ahead and grabbed this pad, STR of breath. I just laid out this very simple pattern right here. I just started off with the root note, and then I added some tension notes right here. Now, all I did for this was I added a reverb Valhalla Supermassive. I added a fruity stereo enhancer just to widen it out, and then I just added an EQ, took out some of the lows, and this is how it sounds. Gives out some eerie vibes, some of that scary shit. And so that's basically like the whole melody, except I just added 2 more accents just to make the melody more interesting. Now this accent right here, I might remove it just for the tutorial because I'm kind of regretting adding it. I don't know, it just sounds weird to me, but I'm gonna still explain it to you. So I went onto the Producer Grind Clarity accent kit. I put Valhalla Supermassive, I added a delay 3, and I took out some of the lows. And then for the second accent, I grabbed this little high bell. What I did here was I added shaper box so that it would pan left and right. Added a reverb, and then I added 2 reverbs here because the first reverb is sort of like a weird delay, so I just added this extra reverb. And then of course I just took out some of the low ends. That's pretty much it for the whole melody, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. It just sounds better without it. I don't know why I added it. I mean, I can't really change it anymore because I already uploaded it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, with this second accent, it was originally like this without any cut, but I decided to add this little cut right here because it sort of gives it that bounce in the melody. Anyways, let's move on to the drums now. Now with these EST Gee type beats, you want to keep the drums pretty simple. You don't want to go overboard with it. You still want to have that sort of complex bounce, but make sure it's not too complex to where the rapper can't really rap on it. You feel me? You just want to have that space in the beat. The first sound we're going to be analyzing is the 808. So I went and grabbed the Anaconda 808 from Vium's Eternal Multi-Kit. Shout out Vium. And what I did was I just placed down notes on the root note B. I can't really explain how to place down the notes. You just gotta find that bounce, that rhythm. You just gotta listen out. You just gotta have a good ear. Also, I kept the 808 pattern simple because like I said, you don't want to go too crazy with your patterns, your drum patterns, especially for EST Gee type beats. And since the piano goes up to F sharp at the end, I also brought up the 808s just so, you feel me, so it follows along. And another pro tip, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but if you don't know, then now you know. Bring the velocities all the way up, and then what you want to do next is go over here, click on this button, and then bring up the boost by like 5%. If you look top left while you're hovering over the knob, you can see the percentage that you're raising it up. And then bring down this volume knob. What I like to do is go over here to the mixer, and then I just bring down the volume, but I also make sure the 808 is still clipping sort of. So make sure the 808 is going a bit over this 0 right here. So yeah, I already have it set. So yeah, if y'all want, y'all can have it so it's not clipping, so just like below the 0, maybe like at -3 decibels. But just for preference, I like having it clip over 0, so that's what I did. And also go to your master. This is also optional. You can go over here and then take down this knob to about -1. It just takes out some of the unnecessary lows of the beat, and it makes the 808 just sound better in my opinion. Next, I added this very complicated snare pattern. Next, I added this open hat. Once again, nothing too crazy or complex. Next, I added a counter snare. Feel me? Not too crazy, but the bounce is still there. You can still hear the bounce. And then I added, of course, the hi-hat. Now with the hi-hat pattern, you can go a bit crazy, but still not too crazy. You feel me? I don't have too many rolls here. I just have it in between the gaps of the snares and the 808s. And like I said, just fill in the gaps of like the snares and the open hats and the counter snares. Just fill in the gaps with those stutters, as you can see. The more you practice, the more you do, the more you'll recognize patterns, the more you'll just get better at doing shit, you feel me? And also another pro tip, click Alt-R, and then you can randomize the velocity and the pan levels just to make the hi-hat patterns more interesting. Turn the knobs to about 10, 9%, 9%, like this shit right here. I didn't do it for this beat because I forgot, but if y'all want, make sure you do that. Next, I added 3 more perks. I added a zap, I added this, then I added this little rim. And also with these perks, you just want to fill in the gaps, as you can see. Just fill in the gaps and see what sounds good, see what sounds bouncy, see what gives that rhythm. Like I said, I can't really explain this. You just gotta keep on practicing until you get better at it. So that's basically the whole beat broken down for y'all. I also want to say this, I am working on a multi-kit for y'all. It's gonna be a huge multi-kit. It's gonna have everything that you need to make a beat. It's gonna have accents, one-shots, melodies, loops, midis, everything you need essential for trap beats. You feel me? So Stay tuned in for that. If you guys liked this video, if you guys found something helpful from this tutorial, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, turn the bell notification so you don't miss an upload. Yeah, more tutorials coming out soon, more videos, more content. Yeah, I don't got much to say. Peace.